So let us now proceed and check out what are operators in Java. Now the operators are directly related to the variables and data types in Java. So these operators brings the variable and data types into action. As for example, the operators helps us to compare the two values stored inside the variables. And another simple example, we can take the mathematical operation. That is, how can we add, multiply and divide two values stored inside the variable. So all these basic operations we can do with the help of operators in Java. Now there are various types of operators in Java. As for example, we have arithmetic, relational, assignment, increment and decrement operators, logical, and at last we have the ternary operator. Now these operators as mentioned in front of you are very important and basic operators. We are going to discuss all these operators one by one from the next video onwards. And all these operators mentioned are widely used while creating any Java application. Let us now proceed and check out what is the arithmetic operator in Java. Now the arithmetic operator helps us to perform the mathematical operation between two variables or numbers. So we have the add operator, subtract, multiply, divide and also the modulus operator. The modulus operator simply divides two numbers and gives us the remainder in the output. So here we have 3 modulus 2. So when we divide 3 by 2, we get the remainder of 1 as a result. And rest of the operator such as add, subtract, multiply and divide are self-explanatory. So let us check out the arithmetic operator inside our IntelliJ IDE. Let us remove all these code and let us change the comment to arithmetic operator. So first of all, let us explore the modulus operator. So if I use 9 modulus 2 and end the statement with the help of a semicolon, then the IntelliJ IDE shows that it is not a statement. So when we divide 9 by 2, it gives us some remainder, and that remainder is a result that needs to be stored inside some variable. So on the left hand side, let us use int result equal to 9 modulus 2. So when we are going to print out the result by using the print statement system.out.println. Now every time we don't need to type the whole statement. Now instead of this, we have a shortcut inside the IntelliJ IDE. That shortcut is simply type SOUT. Hit enter and it will automatically generate the print statement for you. Let us print out the result. So here we get 1 in the output. That is, when we divide 9 by 2, we get the remainder of 1. Now let us try something different. 8 modulus 2. Let us run our code. So here we get 0 as a remainder. So when we divide 8 by 2, we get the remainder of 0. And now let us use 9, let's say divide by 2. Let's see what happens. Now in the output we get only 4. We all know that when we divide 9 by 2, we should get the output of, let's say, 4.5. Now what happens is that on the right hand side I have 9 as an integer and 2 as an integer. So what happens is that when we divide 9 by 2, the result is being stored inside the int result. Now integer data type does not support the decimal point values. So when we have this operation in the runtime, this 0.5 is striked out. So we get only 4 in the output. So in order to get 4.5, let us use float that supports the decimal point value. Let us now run the code. Now still here we get 4.0 in the output. But as per our expectation, we should get 4.5 in the output, which does not happen. So what happens is that this 9 is basically a int value and this 2 is again a int value. So when two integer values are divided, it gives out the integer result. So here in place of 9 by 2, we get 4. Now due to the type conversion that we checked out in the previous topic, this 4 will now become 4.0, which is present here. So what is the solution for that? The solution is to either make this 9 as 9.0f right? Because 9.0 is a floating point value, that is why we need to append f at the end. Let us now run the code and let's see what happens. And there we go, finally we get 4.5 in the output. Now another alternative to this is to make the denominator 2.0 as a floating point value. Let's see what happens. And there again we get 4.5. So either you make 9 as floating point value or 2 as floating point value in order to get the desired result. Now another alternative solution to this is simply cast it to the float. So when 9 is divided by 2, it simply gets converted into the float value. So let us now run the code. So here again we get 4.5. So always remember, whatever value that you have on the right hand side will be assigned to the left hand side. And now if I make it, let's say double, and then remove it, let's run the code. Again we get 4.0 just because on the right hand side I have two integer value getting operated. Let us now change it to 9.0, which is again the double. Let us now run the code. And then we get 4.5 as the desired result. And now apart from modulus and division, you can also perform various other operations such as 9 minus 2, 9 plus 2, and also 9 multiplied by 2, that should give us result of, let's say, 18. Let us now run the code. And there we go, we get 18 as the output. Let us now try to increase the complexity of our code. So instead of this statement, let us use this equation. So such a long equation we have in front of you. Let us now run the code. So here in the output we get 3. So how such a long equation is getting evaluated? Now in case of Java, when we evaluate such statement, then we have a concept of associativity. That is, evaluate the statement from left to right. And also we have some precedence, that is the priority order. So we give more priority to multiplication, division and modulus compared to the plus and minus operator. So multiplication, division and modulus will get more priority than the plus and minus operator. And always we need to solve the equation from left to right. So whenever we are going to solve this equation, we are going to start from left. So initially we have plus, minus and then multiplication symbol. So as soon as we get the multiplication symbol, then we need to first evaluate 7 into 5. So this 7 into 5 will result into 35. So as a second step, we will get this equation 3 plus 1 minus 35 modulus 3 divided by 2. Now again start from the left, and here we get modulus, and this modulus has the greater precedence over the plus and minus. So here 35 modulus 3 will give us the remainder of 2. So in the next step, we will get this output minus 2 divided by 2. Again we will start from left, and soon after that we are going to find this division. So 2 divided by 2 is now 1. So we get 3 plus 1 minus again 1. Now since we have only plus and minus, so starting from left we will get more priority to 3 plus 1 because of left to right associativity. So then we have 4 minus 1 that finally result into, let's say, 3. So that is why when we run the code, the result will display 3 in the output console like we have here. Now among multiplication, division and modulus, all these three operators are having the equal priority. So among these three, give more priority to the operator that is present on the left. That is why I evaluated 7 into 5 first, and then 5 modulus 3, and finally 3 divided by 2. Now let us try something different. Let us put the bracket before 3 and then after 2. Let us now run the code and let's see what happens. Now this time we get a different output, that is 4 instead of 3. Now what is happening here is that when we apply bracket, so the variables and operators that are present within the bracket will get the highest priority. So while solving the equation, we are going to first solve this 3 divided by 2. So this 3 divided by 2 will result into 1. Now suppose if I have one more bracket here. Let's say 1 minus 7 is present within the bracket. So in the very next step, we are going to first solve this because the brackets gets the highest priority. So this will be replaced by, let's say, minus 6. So here let us remove plus, a simple mathematical operation, and then we can solve it further, right? Like this. So in this video at the end, we also learned about the associativity, that is, solve the equation from left to right. And also we learned about the precedence, that is, these operators will get the highest priority compared to plus and minus. Let us now proceed and check out the relational operator in Java. So first of all, what are the various types of relational operators? The very first one is the less than operator. And then we have less than equal to, greater than or equal to, is equal to, and at last we have is not equal to operator. So all these operators can be called as the comparison operator that will help you to compare two numbers, two variables or some data. So how to use all these operators, let's check it out. So inside the IntelliJ IDE, let us now check out the relational operator. So first of all, how do we compare two numbers? Let us compare 3 greater than 2. So this statement simply means that is 3 greater than 2? Yes or no. So in Java, we evaluate it as true or false. Yes, 3 is greater than 2. So this statement will return true. Now here it is showing some error, a semicolon is expected. So when we have such statement 3 is greater than 2, it will return a boolean value. That is either true or false. So on the left hand side, let us assign it to boolean result 1 equal to 3 greater than 2. So in the output, the R1 will contain the value of, let's say, R1 equal to true. Now if I reverse the case 2 greater than 3, then we will get R1 as false. So as simple as that. And apart from this, if we have, let's say, 3 greater than equal to, let's say, 4. Now again, let us assign it to a boolean variable of R2 equal to this much. So here in this case, we will get value of R2 equal to, let's say, false. Because we all know 3 is actually smaller than 4. Now if I use instead of 3, let's say 4. So this time this R2 will be true. Why? Because we are having greater than or equal to sign. So 4 is not greater than, but it is actually equal to 4. So that is why we get R2 as true. Now let us use 5. So 5 is definitely greater than 4. So R2 will be true anyhow. And now let us change it to, let's say, 3 and 2. Again we have R2 as true. So this greater than or greater than equal to comes under the category of greater than and greater than equal to. Now instead of writing the numbers directly, why don't we assign it to some variable? As for example, int x equal to 2 and then int y equal to 3. Let us replace these values by, let's say, x and here y. And again here y, and instead of 2, let us use x. Right? Now similarly, we have less than and less than equal to operators that is represented by, let's say, smaller than sign and also smaller than equal to sign. So here on the left hand side, let us use some value. This time let us take, let's say, 2. And here on the right hand side, let us use 3 and assign it to some boolean variable of R3 equal to this much. So here we get R3 true because 2 is smaller than 3, and again we can replace it by x here and again by y. And similarly for less than equal to operator, let us use something like this. Boolean R4 equal to y smaller than equal to x. So this will result in R4 being false. Now at last we have the equality and also the inequality operator, which is known as is equal to, is not equal to. So here we have some similar example. R5 equal to 2 equal to 3. Now this double equal to is actually known as is equal to operator. So we always read it as is 2 equal to 3, and here we have not equal to. So we actually read it as is not equal to. So we call it as is 3 is not equal to 2. So you will get the answer. So in this case we get the answer as false because 2 is not equal to 3. And here we have 3 is not equal to 2, which is actually true here, not false. And now, why don't we use something like this? Is 3 equal to 3? Yes, obviously 3 is equal to 3, so R5 will be now true. Now here, let us define one more variable of, let's say, int z equal to 3. So here, now we can replace this 3 by y, and again let us call it z, and both the values are 3. So here let us use, instead of 3, z, and instead of 2 let us use x. And now you can verify the output of R1, R2 till R6 in the output console by simply printing out the value. So let us use the sout statement, that is our print statement, and one by one let us print out the results. Let us now run the code. And now let us compare our own result with the result in the output console. So first one is false, then true, then again false, and then at last we have two true values. So it perfectly matches with what we have inside the output console. So this was all about the relational operator. Just remember, the relational operator simply defines the relation between the two numbers or two variables, like you can see in front of you.